Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. Today we'll be discussing a few initial considerations for building a successful team to oversee innovation management process. My name is Sean Miller, and I'm an innovation strategy advisor here at IdeaScale. As always, feel free to find me on LinkedIn or email me with any and all questions as you're planning your next innovation program. The agenda today is very straightforward, including a few thoughts to consider to get you in the right mindset and assemble your team. Next, moving into different team roles you should define within your team. And finally, we'll open the webinar session for questions and provide some additional resources for those of you who would like some more research. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We all know that working together towards a common goal is a critical objective for any team, and there are several main considerations to think over as you plan this initial step of assembling this team. I really enjoy this quote by Andrew Carnegie that talks about the function of teamwork and building towards a common vision. With this quote in mind, let's start with 4 basic considerations to keep in mind as you're building your team. Trust and buy-in, expectations, alignment of team goals, and the value that each team member can provide. Trust and buy-in, of course, is the first step. Building a team of stakeholders that have something to gain from the success of a program and ensure that everyone's expectations align to that same outcome. While designing the program and process, engage this team and ask for feedback and additional insights to ensure they feel heard and buy in to the process overall. You'll want to set some clear expectations for each team member and their contributions and responsibilities throughout the process. Provide some context around their role and relate their individual contribution to the team and the overall goal of the program. You'll want to align the roles and incentives with individuals' priorities and, as mentioned earlier, ensure that everyone is focused and aligned on the same goals and outcomes for the larger project. And lastly, values. Take care to highlight the intrinsic value gained by helping in this project. As you begin thinking about who should be on your innovation team, it's also important to think about the necessary roles that will be required throughout the process. When specifically talking about managing an innovation process using management tools such as IdeaScale, there are several key roles that are critical to the success, both in your core team and other roles and responsibilities that you'll interface with throughout your project. Executive sponsors or champions will be the face of each campaign or challenge. They're typically the leadership figures with the authority, legitimacy, and credibility in the eyes of your community and your audience. Ambassadors will have that unique access to segments of your crowd and can be powerful partners in driving engagement and participation. You want to identify a main point of contact that can field any and all questions and also be the liaison between your organization and any partners, including IdeaScale. Your community administrators will have unique access to the IdeaScale platform and extensive rights and capabilities to ensure your community and your platform is running smoothly. Content creators will be responsible for generating the content shared with your organization and your community. They understand your organization's marketing and strategic vision and develop materials that promote and engage your crowd. Moderators will be responsible for engaging and facilitating lively discussion within the community. Moderators generally oversee the day-to-day progress of the program and can approve ideas and comments, move ideas between stages, monitor the community for off-topic discussions, and much more. Subject matter experts are designated to help evaluate the ideas throughout different stages. They can act as a jury, a committee, or an expert evaluation team with decision-making powers for advancing ideas towards final selection. Implementers will take ideas to action. This is the most exciting part of any open innovation or crowdsourcing initiative. Implementers might be partners, sponsors, or community members involved in your organization and your crowd. The key is that these implementers are people who bring the ideas to life. And, lastly, if necessary, some legal contact. The involvement of legal is only necessary if your project requires special terms of use between your organization and the end users. If there's special intellectual property or proprietary information being shared, you may want to think out how you protect and safeguard that information ahead of time. In the IdeaScale platform, we've built in several dedicated roles and responsibilities for your team members. As mentioned before, many remain the same. Leadership, dedicated innovation teams that will plan out the strategy of when and how to release campaigns and challenges, admins and moderators, expert review committees, and of course, your implementers or your delivery team. Once you've identified the roles and responsibilities that are necessary to build your team, it's time to assemble everyone together and begin planning through a series of meetings. A central part of any successful program revolves around ensuring the right team members are engaged at the right time. For this, I like to refer to the Jimmy table, or the Global Innovation Management Institute table of personalities and styles. Jimmy strongly believes that there are 6 identifiable personalities or styles that relate directly to a successful innovation management team. The blue hat style is organized and controlled, laying out objectives, purposes, and processes. The green hat style is creative and puts forth new ideas, opinions, and alternatives, as well as modify and improve on existing ideas. Yellow hats are optimistic and positive, focusing on capturing opportunity, seeking out value, and providing reasons to take chances. The black hat style is more cautious and critical, focusing on detecting risk and providing reasons for caution. White hat thinkers are analytical and focused on information and facts, and those that wear the red hats are typically more emotional and intuitive. Understanding which hat you typically wear and which hat you prefer not to wear is critical to a successful innovation program and how you communicate with your team throughout the process. Understanding and planning ahead when and where to apply these different styles throughout the innovation process will help build a strong team dynamic. As seen here, when and where to apply different hats or different styles and personalities throughout a typical innovation management process. Blue and white hats should be in charge of setup because they are great at identifying problems and setting goals with precision. When diverging and brainstorming, blue, green, yellow, and red hats are best to collect as many ideas as possible for your program, regardless of feasibility or viability at that point in time. When connecting those ideas, blue, green, and yellow hats are most appropriate. When converging, blue, black, white, and red hats are key because this is the time to prioritize and make decisions, not focus on generating new or more ideas. Finally, During the emerge stage, the blue, black, and white hats are necessary to set up your action plan and get it moving. There are many unique challenges to setting up a successful innovation management team. The considerations, roles, and styles I reviewed today are intended to be a launching point for further discussion, questions, and research. If you are interested in researching a little bit more about how to build a successful team for innovation management, IdeaScale has some great resources for you. Because IdeaScale is a strategic partner when it comes to innovation management, we host an entire knowledge base of articles, research studies, blogs, and videos to help you research appropriate questions and considerations on these different areas. Innovationmanagement.se is an excellent resource, and I encourage everyone to bookmark it for both personal and professional innovation research. As we conclude today, I'd like to remind everyone that this webinar is part of a series focused on identifying and discussing the necessary parts of a comprehensive innovation program. Our next webinar, August 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, to discuss how to evaluate and measure good ideas. You'll find a link to register for this webinar on our resources page at ideascale.com/resources. Thank you everyone for attending and participating today, and I look forward to seeing you on our next webinar.